But it also opens up an opportunity to invest in water. As crazy as it may sound, but you're gonna hear it more. Fitness was a problem that was shown to us that only covered, that part of the country. But it's really a situation that's going on across the entire country. It's just that, our water hasn't run out yet. You call it a so, it's a major opportunity for privatization of water. There's a lot of private water that are prevented because, as he explained earlier, it's really different from just what I do. Like as he explained earlier, cryptocurrency is kind of taking over the world financially, so to speak, as the gear that the financial rails that we're running on. So with that being said, everything that you can think of has been token. The whole corporations are being tokenized, broken down, which now, it's a bad and a good thing. Because it's a bad thing, from the standpoint because, you know, the company is going to be really a private company. Follow what I'm saying? If you have anything to skip the people who consume you are going to own, which is a good thing on the other side of it, because it forces people to do the right thing. Of course, follow what I'm saying. We don't live in a world of shape business things, and shape business practices, corporate entities all the way down to the bottom. So, it actually opens up opportunity for a lot of this right now. Because if you follow job number, tell you you are under control, which is true, but it's also deceiving because we have a large people who are just giving up on the workforce, and we live in a world where we see, everyone on Instagram living their best life, so to speak. The guy that has a dream, has a regular 9 to 5. We live, this is actually the best time, man, to just jump out there and do whatever you want to do. Because, I like to say history repeats itself. We're kind of back in the times again where, it was the days of the Rockefeller, so to speak. When the financial rails had changed with the old system, the institute, the Fed, the Federal Reserve, and you move into the system that you live in now. Things are changing now. A lot of people who were nobody became somebody.
That's right.
And that leads back to what you were saying about having an impact. And that comes with, with just not being scared of doing what you see there's a need for it. Because everything has changed. The rules of the game have changed. You can see TikTokers making millions of dollars right now. So you gotta understand, what's going on. So you just gotta follow the trend. We're at a funny period in the world where people get set to be old-minded and say, "Man, I'm not getting on that way. I'm gonna stay trying to do what I'm used to." Mm-hmm. You're gonna get left behind because, it took a long time to get us here, but it's been this super quick fast transition, into the new wave and world of things. As we transition into Web3, everything goes, the internet of value is really in play, because once that's there, it creates opportunity for every last one.
So let me ask you a question. Mr. Ramallo, because that's so perfect in where you are and where you're going. And I love this. And this is why I'm so amazed that you're here. When you're talking about these things that are happening and us in the water crisis and privatizing of water and people not realizing that we're in such a state and they must adapt. Adaptability is key. And start looking at the levels of where cryptocurrency itself has changed so much in our life. The whole graphic layout, right, with the blockchain. So when I hear what you're saying, in my opinion, is like if you were to say a sum up, you would say then if you want to make impact critically, if you want to make a critical impact, first of all, you got to stop ignoring the world's problems and make and make your even small contribution towards a better future. That when I hear what he's saying, does that make sense? Are you following me?
That's exactly what it is. The world is given to the problem solver.
That's right. Absolutely. So
this is what made the Amazon job.
There you go. There you go. So when I look at it, when I look at that, and I'm saying to myself, wow, wow. So that means I need to put together, if I'm someone, some type of initiative and some type of solution so that I can participate in solving the issues of famine, solving the water scarcity, poverty, just to name a few of these things, right? Because when you start talking about, well, all of this is happening. I can't believe they're doing this. I can't believe this is happening. Instead of talking and being on the sideline, right now, as you mentioned, we're back in a time with the Rockefellers. Everyone has a shot at making change and creating wealth. Is that what I'm hearing clearly?
Yes, it is. Because right now, ownership is here's the thing. The walls are coming down. So that's why, there's going to be a transition period. It's going to be, we're in a recession. It's going to get worse for certain areas, but it's going to get better if you're on the right side of the history is over. Because if you didn't get it, that's why I tell everybody, there's something that's in the blockchain. Everything's going to be on the blockchain. Everything is going to be on blockchain, from your license to to the deed of your home to everything you can think of is going to become a digital record. This is why, there's a movie on Netflix. I feel everybody can go take a look at it. It's called The Last American Bride. It's a very interesting movie because it's a movie that depicts a utopian world that crime will no longer exist. After a certain point, there was no more ability to commit crime because the world became so connected. And real literally, that movie is going to become our reality as we move forward. Because everything from financial records to real estate deals to just your basic transaction at the grocery store, it's going to become something that's going to be on chain and a digital record is going to be there. So there's no way that you'll be able to cheat the system, so to speak, as how the system has been being cheated for the last 100 years on paper. It's an analog system, so to speak, the digital system. So, with that being said, I'm not, it creates a great opportunity, because while the paper is still prevalent, people are kind of being cheated out of their game right now with crypto because they see the market going down, because the wave always comes late. That's a conversation for another day, but you have to pay attention to the rest of the world. Like, to be honest, I don't want to, I don't want to disrupt anybody who has a firm American first attitude, but to be realistic, we're in a global situation now across the world, and other places are going to rise up, and they're rising up as we speak. This is another reason why you see certain unemployment rates are high. It's not that they're high; they're high for certain kind of jobs, because a lot of those people that used to come here, get a visa, come to America to go to school or to work here, they're no longer doing it because the power is going to the people that are not doing that. So we need to adapt our way of thinking, our investment strategy, our marketing strategies to gear it toward the people who have money.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Listen, it's amazing. Every time we have these dialogue, I know we're working on some amazing projects. When you start talking about, everything on the blockchain. So I'm super excited just to have you here. And I know everyone right now, they're listening and paying attention across the board. So I'm gonna have you hold 1 second, because I know right now they're like, hold on. they're like, hold on, man, I got a lot to take in. This is information, and I want you to That's right. And you know what it is? Everyone understands when you get on this call, wherever you are, you go ahead and document, grab your pen and pad or your notes, and just really document, because we're always going to come on here and we're going to have some strategic conversations. And Mr. Ramallah, as we dive into that area, I want to tell people something. when you look at what we're talking about and be impactful, right? When you look at everything, if we're talking about, as we're saying, the environment or business and investments, right? The meaning of impact right now we're saying is extremely specific. Okay, I remember reading a book that talks about impact, and the author was really in-depth studies. And when you start talking about understanding these major organizations, investors, and the government, and what the author had said, he had said something like, an impact is the measure of an action benefit to society and the planet. He said an action and a benefit measure to society and the planet. So you have to understand that the things that's impacting us, we're still in the position to be impactful, to not let those things that are bringing an effect take hold of everything that we got going on. So when you're hearing what Mr. Ramalho is saying, it's not a matter of, hey, oh my God, hold my head and run. It's a matter of be put on notice that things are drastic, but we are in a position to create change. You understand? What is your core belief? What is your core belief? What is your core belief towards this change? What aim do you have to bring together the concept of consumers, people with pension savers, entrepreneurs, managers, employees, these companies, citizens and governments? What are some of the plans that you may have? Philanthropy, what are some of the plans that you may have? So we have to now put it on paper. We have to put it on paper, but then we have to understand these principles. And I want to give you guys some principles as Mr. Ramalho and I go back into dialogue shortly. I want to give you guys some principles so you understand how important it is as we move into this direction. And so, guys, go ahead and document, because I want you to understand with what's happening. We have to understand that there's some principles that we must live by or move by among the other things that we will learn on this journey. Because the world itself globally is teaching us all a journey. It's a book that you may say, oh, well, I think I've read this book before. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing. Did you study the book? Did you really read the book? Did you understand the book? Oh, this happened before. Oh, it happened before, but tell me what really happened. What happened? Who did what in that journey? Now, where are you in that journey of what happened before? Which character are you playing? And how can you utilize where you are to catapult not only yourself, but to make change to the human race? Because see, right now, it's not just a self thing, because one person can do, but a village and a community can do a whole lot more. So guys, impact one, understand this, right? Impact one, impact is the potential of an action to improve lives and the planet. Impact is the potential of an action to improve lives and the planet. Okay? So we must shift, okay? We must shift to the center of our consciousness. We got to think. We got to go deep. We must shift that thought to the center of our consciousness. So one is impact is the potential of an action to improve lives and the planet. It's a change. Number two, ladies and gentlemen, number two is when weighing business and investment, because now you have to look at things at a scope. When weighing business and investment decisions, we must adopt a new paradigm of risk, return, impact. You heard that? Risk, return, impact. You have to adopt a new paradigm. That means you're about to play in a field that you have no choice but to play in the blockchain. So you have to adapt a new risk, return, impact. You have to get away from what you thought you knew, what was embedded in you, and you have to shift your paradigm. When you're shifting the paradigm, you just don't start to do something new and leave the old. You have to replace that old with something else, so that it doesn't push back in to remove the new that you're bringing in. So you got to shift your paradigm, because you have to say to yourself, wow, I need to be impactful. I need to move in this space, because what I see right now, as much as it may seem as if it's famine, in the midst of it, there's greatness. And that is what he is saying when he started to tell you guys about everything being tokenized. I want to make sure that we're on the same page. I want to make sure that you guys are following me. So guys, go ahead and put 7 in the chat if you're following me. Put some 777s if you're following. I want to make sure that you guys are following. If you're following, put some 777s in the chat. Okay? Put some 777s in the chat. Now, I'm going to give you one more before I have Mr. Romalo jump back in. I want to make sure you guys are following, right? Number three, okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is impossible to do well and do good at the same time. In fact, we can deliver a better return because of impact. Listen to this really good. We can deliver a better return because of impact rather than in spite of it. See, because rather than spite. So somebody heard that and somebody said to themselves, what is he talking about? What does he mean? What does he mean when he said we can deliver and we can bring impact rather than in spite of it? See, here's the thing. You don't want to be on the in spite end, because see, on the in spite end, you're being impacted. So you want to be on the side, on the end that you are being the impact. You are making the impact. You are seeing what's happening and making a decision to shift your paradigm and say, you know what? I can't just sit still. I see where gas prices are. Ooh, I see where these food prices are. Oh, this thing is real. People have been talking about it, but really it's hitting home now. It's not just in my city. It's every city. Ooh, it's not just in every city. It's across the borders. Man, we in trouble. I can't just fly away and go somewhere because I'm going to run into the same problem. So here's the thing. Are you going to just create your own space shuttle and get off of Earth? Because you don't know what's waiting for you and you ain't getting nowhere. So guess what? You have to embrace what is really coming and now say, guess what? I need to learn. I'm ready to learn, but I'm going full speed ahead so that I can adapt. So adaptability is key. So, Mr. Romalo, before I jump on forward in what you were saying and what you just heard, when we start talking about tokenizing, when we start talking about everything moving on the blockchain, you know, when you look at that and you say, okay, wow, these are some of the things that's being done. What are some of the things you would want to tell them? Look, you want to really start looking at this. You want to really start positioning yourself this way. How would you then advise based on your knowledge and what you're seeing happening internationally?
See, you know, just to make it real easy, here's the thing. The world that we live in still exists. Things that are important to this world that were important yesterday is still going to be important tomorrow. It's just the way of doing things is going to change.
Come on.
How things are owned, how value is transferred to each other. So the best thing somebody can do right now to get them stuff ready for the transition of Web3 is to figure out what do they do and they're successful at in the physical world and the real world that we live in right now. And try to get that started and put it in. Because the meta, I know you might have heard like the metaverse and all of these different things with NFTs and all of that. See, that's gonna kind of this is gonna be conducted in the metaverse. I don't know. I like the reference a lot.
That's fine. Absolutely.
Tell us our future.
That's right. That's right.
There was a movie called Surrogates. I don't know.
Oh yeah, great movie.
Listen, if you see the premise of that movie, then everyone is home inside these digital cubicles living out their lives, walking around outside, fabricating bodies and what have you. That's literally what the metaverse is. And see, the key of this is that the whole metaverse, cryptocurrency, everything, it's really not for us. If we're on this call right now, it's not for us. When I say that, we're going to live to see the impact and change it's going to make, but it's not for us. For the generations that are coming up, the system that they have in place to run everything after the baby boomers are gone, the next generation X is gone, that's what everything is going to take over. So with that being said, we can capitalize. If you do real estate right now, look at doing real estate in the metaverse because houses are going to become tokenized. They're tokenized right now. There's actually several companies give tokenized loans to buy property.
That's right.
Equity out of your property with a tokenized loan. Right now, like 100 you have a capital, you don't have a bank.
That's right.
So, like I said, there's a lot of things along with that. Because, right now, we know access to capital is sometimes hard, but when you're in the digital space, access to capital is right at your fingertips. Because everything is done through smart contract, and they don't even want your ID.
That's right.
So the element of the human judge is out of most decisions that are being made, and that's what's going to happen within the future. They're going to take the human element out of everything. Because they feel people make too many mistakes, which they do. People have too many preconceived notions. You see people are shooting up, the food places because they don't like black people. So they won't take the human element out as much as possible. So, the main, just to make sure I stick to the two of capitalizing on what's moving on. The main thing is get some type of education about this space, what it's going to do, but it's really actually dealing with this space already. Right now, when you're logged in on your phone to your banking applications, Cash App and all these things, you're actually operating in Web3 right now. But if you don't know what Web3 is, you need to figure out what Web3 is. Web3 is literally the same thing the internet that we're doing now is just, I can categorize it like this. Web1 was first had the dial-up internet.
That's right.
Making noise, dial-up internet, that was Web1. Web2 is what we have right now. That we were able to send email, and I can send you a text message instantly, instant messages. You don't have to wait an hour to get a message. What Web3 is about exchanging value at the same speed that you exchange information. So the same way that people can exchange an email or text in a split second, people are going to be able to send money, which you're doing now, which you're able to send deeds, documents, certified documents. Right now, you can wait 2 weeks, a month, 6 weeks for certain documents. Those days will be over. So the world is going to move much faster, which means that we need to move much faster. That's why our children right now, one, they can run the iPad and listen to this scratch our head, because they're already going to be ready for how fast the world is.
That's right. That's right.
Our job is to make sure they get there and start the course.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. It's amazing. As I hear you talk about that, and us speaking about Web3 so often, guys, you really got to take this serious and see what's really happening. When we keep talking about adaptability, impact, when we talk about summing it up in one word, that impact is so key. What impact are you making? How to make a great impact? You got to understand that the impact, understand this, impact can be measured and compared. It can be measured and compared. Impact can be measured. We're in a state that so many different things, so much that we do, things can be measured, right? It's not just, okay, this is what I'm doing. Well, we can measure your growth. We can measure your activity. We can measure what you say you're doing. Show me your itinerary. You say you want to be impactful. You say you want to create this change or be someone that make a stomp in the human race. So then we can measure that by your daily activity, by your routines. You track it, right? So impact can be measured. We need to really standardize the measurement and fold it into decisions, like into decision making across society, which allows us to amplify the results. So when you're able to measure it and fold it into decision making, then you're able to amplify something that now can be measured because it can be duplicated. It can be duplicated. You understand? So you've got to understand how important that is when we start talking about being impactful. How impactful are you? Ask yourself that question. Or am I impactful? It's a real good question to ask yourself. Have I been impactful? How have I been impacting the people around me? Because see, a lot of us, we impact people, but we impact them the wrong way. Because a lot of us, we're caught in gossip and things that has nothing to do with the direction we need to be going, because the world is moving whether you move with it or not. See, things will continue to happen. Trees fall, trees grow, right? Things happen. Nation rise, nations fall. These things will happen and continue to happen whether you are participating or not. So here's the thing. Do you want to be extinct? Or do you want to be someone that is moving in the time? Do you want to change your generation? Because right now we're in a space to be able to do that. See, we must come together as a unit, ladies and gentlemen. We must come together to adapt for that success and impact model. We must come together to adapt that success and impact model to prevent the different things from happening, the problems in schools that's arising, issues that the government may be having, that we may have ideas that will be the solution to those things. Instead of casting the stone, we may need to say, well, things can be done like this, this, and this. So how do we get it to them? Well, we become impactful by saying, guess what? Strategically, if I come together and we decide that we're going to write to our congressman, and then we're going to write to the one above him, but it's not only going to be me, it's going to be a community. And I'm going to get communities to rally together to see the value and see what's really happening. So in why, when we go here, then we can take it where it needs to go. So the thing is, you have to be strategic at this point. Every move needs to be a move that's impactful. Not a move that will take you back 20 years. So we have to understand what's really happening right now. How are we going to create that change? How are we going to do the things that we need to do to get to where we need to get to? Now, when I said to you guys about the success model, understand when we talk about the pay for success model, ladies and gentlemen, it's just a new way of financing. When you're the pay for success model, it's just a new way of financing with social service to help the government target limited dollars to achieve a positive, measurable outcome. So when you hear some things and people may say, I don't understand what that means, or what exactly is that? Well, this is why it behooves us to the same things we do when we go on these phones, as you hear Mr. Romalo talking about. When we go on these phones and we start looking at things that will give us giggles, the same way, ladies and gentlemen, we can look at things that will allow us to shift our paradigm. We can look at things that will allow us to learn. See, right now in the society where we are, we all need to be learners. It is key for us to be learners, because we cannot be impactful if we're not learning. We do not need to hear, say, and then speak. We need to understand what we're speaking about. That means we need to study on our own. It's so necessary for us to do that so that we can create a change. I love the concept of, well, going to a space where there's no more crime. And it's just Mr. Romalo. It's funny because today I'm doing some banking, and I said to the gentleman, I said, are you guys pretty busy in here? He said, man, I'm not even going to lie to you. We're not even busy. People don't even want to come out of their houses. And I said to him, I said, you know what? Here's the thing where people are missing. Here's what people are missing. Ladies and gentlemen, it sounds awesome to sit at home. It sounds, you heard what I said? Sounds awesome. But there is something that was designed from the beginning that must and always should be done. Must and always should be done. It's a four-letter word. It's called work. It must, should always be done. And see, when they talked about a body in motion stays in motion, here is what people sometimes don't understand. When you sit too long, it becomes a problem. There's a whole plethora of things that comes behind that we're not going to talk about today. But I need you to understand that when we get comfortable, like you said, people are not even in the workforce. People are not even working. People got comfortable. So here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, we still have to make an impact. And an impact, you just don't make an impact sitting at home. We understand we're digital, but we're still moving in a world that requires, its design requires physical connection. So as he said, you're still going to be doing things that we're doing now. It's just the way of how it's being done. So ask yourself, am I ready to be impactful? Am I ready to be a great impact? Have I been a great impact? These are questions that I really want you to ask yourself. Now, guys, I know we normally go about an hour on these leadership summits, but Mr. Ramal, I want you to jump back in here and really just kind of finalize on a few things, because I see that this definitely is a dialogue that we would have to definitely continue as well. But jump back in here and kind of sum up based on some of the things that that's happening and you see in terms of projection towards what's happening with blockchain and where we're headed and why it's something to truly consider and understand.
Well, that's actually a great thing. Some what's about blockchain is just the new format of nice. It's just like how writing was we're growing up, we all learn how to write script. Everybody now personal from the but now everyone types on a phone, types on a keyboard, writing a letter, with a fancy handwriting, with a felt pen is becoming a thing that but the implication is now, it's just the media has changed. That's literally what's going on. Is that the financial world is actually changing for the better because the old dinosaurs controlled everything. They're about to go down. Everyone's going to have an opportunity, but the only catch for that opportunity is that the world is about to become the most transparent thing for the people. Because a lot of people get confused when they hear the word crypto. They inspire the thought, oh, this is scripted. No one's going to know what I'm doing. But it's actually completely obvious. Is that everyone's going to know what you're doing. And we match that with the world of AI that we're moving into. AI, and crypto, with algorithms, everything. Those three things are going to kind of force us into a secure world where banking fraud is going to be a thing of the past. Nobody's going to be able to rip you off. So the people who are doing business actually have to send that product.
That's right.
The days of, hey, I paid for this thing that never showed up. Those days are over. It gives the opportunity for people who have real things, have real ideas, real actual products that we have available now. Because if we open that products up to a whole world that's vision that was never seen before. Social media is one thing, and social media has a huge impact. But you gotta realize, that has an impact on social media, radio, movies, everything you can think of is going to be in one simple location. This is why your Nike, your Amazon, paying millions of dollars. It's basically, so you always want to do what you follow the money.
That's right.
What I was talking about. So nothing has changed. That's why moving into this new phase of the financial industry is nothing but be scared of. Like I said, it's one of the greatest opportunities that we'll ever live. To be quite honest, I don't think it will ever come again within 2 lifetimes after this. That's how important we all need to treat. That's why I just want to really want to know the saying that what you guys said earlier about a standard. We all need to adhere to the standard and the new standard that they're moving. The faster we learn it, the faster it's second nature to us, and the faster we can advance it. The second thing to that is accountability. Like right now, like we all check out. Follow what I'm saying. There's a lot of source to get lost of it right now in this world because of how pivotal the time is right. Because if you can sacrifice 3 to 4 good years, right, diverse into divest into certain lanes that are out there within the Web3 space and way with the value. I mean, if you look at that generational wealth, like almost guaranteed. We're at a place where the switch, the switch, so to speak. You don't want to be the guy trying to figure it out with everybody. You know, you don't want to be the last guy to figure this out. I'm just gonna say that last guy in the so, you know, so I'm sure Mr. Boston and they gonna keep these things going. We can start getting some real in-depth, crypto experience, and I can kind of, I can share more of what I know, and then kind of get some bullet points of where just to directly, focus your energy. It's all about that.
Man, listen. I am so blessed. Everyone is so blessed that I've had you on here today, Mr. Ramallo, because it's such an yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm so appreciative. There's so much going on, so much that we're doing, guys, and I need you guys to understand something. As you heard him, and I need you guys to really understand. See, we have to shift to measuring outcomes, not activities. I need you guys to understand that. We have to shift to measure outcomes and not activities. Instead of measuring an organization time and dollars spent and the country and the people it reach, let's measure the actual improvement, the modes to the lives and the environment. Let's not worry about how much money they spent. What about the lives and the environment that it changed? We have to start looking at things different. See, sometimes we look at the glass so half empty all the time instead of half full. We're always looking at the things in a negative connotation and not understanding that at this point we need to act now, ladies and gentlemen. We need to act now. We got to end the plight of billions of lives declining on this planet. We got to look at what's really happening globally. And we have to say to ourselves, okay, I'm in a space to create generational wealth, but it's not only me, because now everyone have access. But transparency is what's going to be the rest of this journey. Now, here's the thing about transparency. Transparency should have been what you always traveled in, with, believed, and applied in your life, period. But as he mentioned about a world of the type of businessmen and practices that we've had now with this crypto space, as he mentioned, people didn't realize or don't realize that the crypto space just literally shows your hand. It shows your hand. That smart contracts, it shows your hand. Things are amazing when it happens through smart contracts. I'm loving the way how it's moving. Dental plans are going to be going on the blockchain. Insurance are going on the blockchain. So there's so much that we can discuss as we dive into this series. And I think we're probably going to just do an impact series because I think there's so much more that Mr. Ramallo can discuss and some of the things that we're working on that really, guys, will blow your mind, that people have the opportunity to tap in on. So it's not just, hey, share something about me, is share something that everyone can benefit on. Because right now, our goal is, look for the problem, find the solution. I'll say it again, look for the problem, find the solution. So I ask you guys, how impactful are you? How impactful have you been? You're about to go out into a week that will be a blessed week for you. Let it be impactful. Be of impact in everything that you do. When you arise in the morning, let impact be on your mind. Arise in greatness. Affirm that your belief is solid and you're going to be impactful in everything that you do. You're going to listen that will receive the information that will be impactful. You're going to lead in a position that will be impactful. You will be humble among those that you consider your team, that you might be building in an organization so that you can be impactful. You will bite the bullet for the team, understanding that if something goes wrong in your organization, it's not about the team, it's about the leader. Why? Because everything rises and falls on the leadership. You have to lead leadership, and you need to be impactful in the journey. And those that follow will rise up as leaders someday. So you must be impactful in everything you do, that they can duplicate what you have been showing. So I challenge you guys as you go out in this week. You've had such an amazing call on this leadership summit. I say, let it be a week of impactfulness, impact someone, be great in everything that you do, be anointed in everything that you do, see and understand what's going on. Listen, listen carefully. Listen carefully. You're a part of it, but you're not of it. Understand that sentiment. You're a part of it, but you're not of it. See it, understand it, but say, guess what? I know now what needs to be done so that I can create generational wealth. And I'm not going to do it just for me because I know I is one, but team is better. Guess what? A good friend, a business partner, a mentor to me always say, many hands make light work. So I want to make sure you guys understand. Guess what? Two is always better than one, ladies and gentlemen. Two is always better than one. So you know what's better than two. So you got to go with many. And when we go with many, we can accomplish all things. So again, Mr. Romalo, thank you very much for joining us today, brother. Super excited that you were able to jump on here. And I really want to just tell everyone, guys, continue to be blessed. Do you have any finishing thoughts to just send them on their way as they enjoy the week?
We all got to see each other. I think that guy for everyone at the top. We all got to share this information so we can all do it.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much. Be blessed, guys. Have a fantastic, fantastic week. Love you guys. Reach out to us. There's so much going on. We got so much cooking. Let's continue to win. A lot of love. I'll see you guys later. Mr. Boston, out.
Recording stop.